Hi, my name is Drew Martinez, and I'm running for re-election to Dacono City Council. I've worked in breweries for over 20 years, the most recent 10 as an engineer. I frequently work with projects competing for funds and support, and I think this translates well to working with a growing city. I spent 3 years in the Planning and Zoning Commission and the last 1.5 years on City Council. Our most pressing issue is growth. There are many developments in process with the city, and part of City Council's responsibility is to make sure that growth reflects the needs and values of the community. The pace of growth has been slow, but it is picking up momentum. My vision for future development includes additional commercial growth to support the residential population with services, retail, and restaurants. The city's growth plan includes the multi-generational living district with homes affordable to first-time buyers and homes where people can age in place. I think small business growth can be supported by working with developers to provide locations and infrastructure friendly to small businesses. Larger commercial growth is likely to follow residential growth in the area. Regarding engaging the youth of our community, civic engagement starts with education in schools and parents' involvement in the civic process. The more our community participates in processes like land use hearings and zoning hearings, the more our youth sees the path to civic involvement. In terms of transparency in government, the city staff and city council have spent the last couple years focused on ensuring that decisions are transparent to the community through outreach events, all city meetings being available online, community signage, and online announcements. I encourage all residents to get involved in city meetings and to reach out to city staff with ideas, criticisms, and issues that affect them. Feedback from the community goes a long way towards progress by letting the city staff and city council know what needs to be addressed. The city council is assembled to execute the will of the community.
All right. Hello. My name is Kevin Plain, and I'm running for the office of Dacono City Council. I've lived in Dacono for just over 20 years with my wife and kids. My wife and I started dating in high school and were married shortly after she returned from her military training for the Army National Guard. We are coming up on our 35th wedding anniversary. Our kids are grown up, age 28 and 25. We are grateful that they stayed, of course, close here in Dacono. So let's see what else. I am a senior manager for a large tech company as a software engineering manager. Um, so the Carbon Valley Chamber of Commerce has given me a list of questions in various sections and asked me to answer at least one question from each section. So the first question I've selected here is, what unique qualifications and experiences do you bring to this position? So I've been serving Dacono one way or another for the last 18 years because I love my community. I'll sum it up real quick. I was elected 3 times, then term limited, then served on the Planning Commission. Then I was appointed by the council a couple times to fill some vacancies when people resigned. Eventually, I was able to run again, but I lost in 2020, but then won again in 2022. So, I don't give up. I served on the design board for the Ken Homiak K-8 school. I served on the board for the Northern Colorado Emergency Management Agency. I currently serve on the city's Urban Renewal Authority, and all of this I'm doing while working my full-time job. I don't get paid very much for this, so like $50 for a month for council. So, I do support myself with a full time job, of course. So I would say I'm pretty devoted to the city. And so the next question is, what role should the city council play in supporting public safety and emergency services as the community continues to grow? So the city does definitely play a huge role, especially with our police force. I've always supported lots and lots of training for our officers. When I say our officers, I mean they work for all of us. We want them to have the best training possible, right? And have the latest technology. For example, I think we were probably only the second force in the state to get body cameras. We were way ahead on like non-lethal force with tasers, and now. Just this year, we added some AI stuff to our body cameras to help the officers write accurate reports. So, and then finally, I'd mentioned that we have mutual aid agreements with nearby towns so that we sort of have a force multiplier to help answer calls faster. So, next question. What is your approach to fiscal responsibility and budget management? So I would hope people have noticed all the progress lately with the purchase and cleanup of the salvage yard along Colorado Boulevard, and then that and the new city center right across the road will help us develop new city services and bring in new businesses that we all want. Uh, and all of us, as citizens, not just the city, own that land around the Blue Water Tower. Roads, are also being improved in Dacono. This happens because of careful financial management and tools like the Dacono Urban Renewal Authority, which I actually am a founding member of that back in 2016. So Dacono finances are in good shape, and because of that, we can do great things in our community. I also have, we also have regular independent third-party audits. So everything we do financially is looked at by an outside group. And of course, that's all publicly available if folks want to look at it. Next question. How should the city approach long-term water planning and environmental sustainability? So way before I got on city council, they were thinking long-term for water. In fact, we never stopped working on getting more water and staying out ahead of our growth. So everything that's been planned has water allocated to it. As a member of the planning commission, I would never plan for anything unless we could supply water to it. So we're in very good shape there, despite how complex the water laws are here in the state of Colorado. I'd also like to point out that the prices we pay for our water are relatively low compared to other communities. And of course, the water quality is pretty amazing. I mean, I've drunk some water from other communities that have well water, but ours comes down from the mountains. So we have really good water quality. Next question. What policies will you advocate for to ensure housing affordability for residents, including seniors, first-time buyers, and families while maintaining the community's character? Well, I mentioned my kids live here in Dacono. My daughter is a first-time home buyer, and it's very important to me that we have a mix of homes and home styles to support folks at every stage in their lives, right? So as a member of the city council, I can help guide standards and set policies to ensure the developers come in, with a well-rounded mixture of planned urban developments and also, a good mixture of home options. I mean, from there, it really comes down to market dynamics and what people really want to buy. So next question. What strategies do you propose to attract new businesses and promote entrepreneurship in the city? So I mentioned the city center and converting the salvage yard to commercial airspace. That is taking a direct, hands-on approach to making land available to businesses to come into the city. Obviously, policy matters, and creating streamlined processes makes things easier. So, for example, a family-owned restaurant, we just got a new one on Highway 52. And I know the city really helped them out to get that going. So next question. What initiatives do you propose to engage the youth population in civic activities? Well, first off, I'd love to have a skate park somewhere, with like an open kind of access, not fenced in, where young folks can go. And I'd love that to be near the Glens. I'd like to also see another water park. And of course, the new city center has lots and lots of space reserved for playing fields and other things like that. So, as a city, we're moving in the correct direction on that one. Next question: what measures do you support to hold public officials accountable for their actions? Okay, I love this question. Since I had just also happened to serve as the pro tem for the Dacono Council, it's actually written into the charter that it's my job to think up ballot measures to change our city charter. So you'll notice this year a question on your ballot that asks voters if someone is convicted of something like perjury or embezzlement, can we declare that they vacated their seat so that we can replace them? Another one like last year, voters approved one of them I put on there last year, which was a rule that says the city manager must only be employed by the city. Basically, no side jobs, especially if they're working full time for us, right? I also asked voters to make it a rule that the council and boards must get regular training about open government, open meetings, notices, agendas. I also asked voters to make it a rule that council members must speak up if someone is giving them testimony and that person is a family member. I think we should all know that. Common sense, right? And also, if we're appointing them to something, we should know that that this person is a family member of council. We wouldn't want somebody to appoint a family member to serve with them on council. That's really not ethical. So that's in the rules. Um, so so really, what I want is clean government, and really, it just takes a simple Google search to see how I've personally fought corruption. So next last okay. So this is the last question. How will you involve residents in shaping the future development or and policies of the city? Well, I'd hope everyone noticed the open houses where folks could come in and tell planners what they wanted. We also did a lot of we did a lot of that around the city center, and we also actually came to the voters during city events. Like we had this whole thing set up in the city tent during the music festival for people to come in and say what they wanted the field to be used for. And we took all that feedback into account, and now we have signs up to let people know the outcomes of all that input. And this isn't going to stop. This is going to continue year after year as things change and grow because, folks may want to go in a different direction. And I'll say this, though, as one of the founding members on the council, when we started the music festival back in 2008, I will fight really hard to preserve that festival for Dacono so we can have fun, eat great food, listen to great music, and see one of the best fireworks shows in the whole state. Uh, so basically, I love Dacono, and I want the same things that we all want. So thank you.